Veterans Day is about celebrating American heroes. Some gave the ultimate sacrifice, while others survived. On November 16, 2010, Sal Junta received our country's highest honor, the Congressional Medal of Honor. November 7, 2013, Sal visited Stevens Transport in Dallas, Texas. I was honored to spend time with him. First off, Sal, thank you so much for joining us here on Stevens Radio. It is greatly appreciated that you take time to, talk to those that can't be here. They're out driving right now, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
For those that aren't aware of what the Medal of Honor is, I'm sure everybody's heard of it. The military folks that drive and are part of the company, they definitely know about Medal of Honor. How do you explain the significance of the Medal of Honor to those that have no military background?
The Medal of Honor, in the description of the citation, which is what is written to receive it, it states above and beyond the call of duty at the risk of one's life. And it is the highest medal that we have in the military, and it's one medal that all branches of services share. The Medal of Honor for me represents all those that have been doing this in a time of need, in a time of war for the last 13 years in the global war on terror, and in the last since 1775 for this country. It represents all those that have stepped aside and put the country before themselves, a true form of service.
When it comes to Stevens Transport and why you're here today, if you can kind of explain to folks, why we have you here.
Absolutely. I work with a charity called Ride to Recovery, and it's about getting veterans, amputees, gunshot wounds, traumatic brain injuries, veterans onto bicycles. You got to take your pills, you're missing your leg, but you feel different. Well, ride 500 miles or 300 miles in the next 6-7 days. Do it with other like-minded veterans, other people that you can lean on, depend on, and trust. And it's a way to kind of gain that camaraderie back, not just sitting in a hospital bed feeling sorry for yourself, but sweating and feeling the sun on your face and the wind in your hair, which is what Ride to Recovery does. And through Ride to Recovery, Stevens Transport, actually, we are putting on a golf tournament November 9th here in the Dallas area, and Stevens Transport is our supporting donor. And when I heard that, I flew in from Colorado and came to kind of thank Stevens Transport for putting up the big bucks. And I found out that they're very veteran friendly, hiring lots of veterans, and it's really opened my eyes into a good form of transition from the military.
And if folks want to learn more about Ride to Recovery?
You can learn more to Ride to Recovery. I think just Google it's probably the best way, but Ride and then the number 2, then Recovery.
Excellent. Now, Sal, I'd like to kind of make a left turn here on you just a little bit. And for those that want to learn more about you and how you were nominated and received the Medal of Honor, they can read your book, most definitely, which it's called?
My book is called Living with Honor.
Living with Honor. Barnes & Noble, Amazon?
Barnes & Noble, Amazon. Again, I think just Google my name and it will come up. Or Living with Honor. I don't think there's any other books named Living with Honor.
Audiobook available?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, when it comes to receiving the Medal of Honor, which you received in 2010?
November 16, 2010, yes.
In the beginning, things were a little rough for you. You had a tough time grasping that reality of you're the first Medal of Honor living recipient since the Vietnam War. Tell us how you managed to come to terms with that.
It took time. At first, I was hurt by it because from my actions, October 25th, 2007, 2 of my good buddies died that night, Sergeant Joshua Brin and Specialist Hugo Mendoza. 4 other people were seriously wounded. I was hit in the chest, but my plate stopped it. I did not sacrifice any more than anyone else on that hill did that night, and there was 18 of us there. And yet, this is a huge honor. And I felt embarrassed to wear it because I felt so alone in wearing it when there were so many people that deserved it. The ones that stood to my left and to my right, in front of me and behind me. And probably it took a year and a half, 2 years. And I've met some of these other older recipients from
That's
Vietnam.
what I was going to mention is, you know, obviously early interviews, all the major outlets are at you. And with comments like those, I can just imagine the backlash was huge from it, from the military community. Tell us about those folks that step forward to help you kind of get your brain wrapped around what your new goal in life is.
Yeah, through all this, one of the greatest opportunities is I get to meet Medal of Honor recipients, which, I mean, these are guys that change the way we fight wars today, and they're still alive. They're few and far between, and they float around, they stay in the shadows, but they took me under their wing as their brother. I was 25 and they're 73 or older, and they really helped me realize what the medal represents. And it has very little to do with us as individuals, but it has so much to do with our unit, the military in general, and the American way of life of service before self, putting a country, putting an idea, putting the people back home in front of your own personal well-being. And once I started realizing that, the thank yous don't come to me. People can tell me thank you. It's easy to take that thank you and pass it on to my buddies and let them know that I'm average at best. I'm a small town kid from Iowa. I'm one of so many that are still over there taking care of business on our behalf, and I think the medal gives me that, I guess, soapbox to speak from on all the great things the other men and women are doing in this country. I'm just a regular civilian now. I talk for a living, but there's still people fighting war on our behalf, and I think they're definitely worth talking about and remembering and supporting.
In your personal life, what's next for you?
That is a good question. I spend about 150, 200 days a year on the road, and I have the last 3 years. And I think school. They have the GI Bill, the post 9/11 GI Bill. I heard smart people talking about how knowledge is power, and I've never heard anyone say they wish they wouldn't have learned so much. So I think school will be more than likely coming up soon.
University of Colorado, I know you had to throw that on pause there. Well, here at Stevens, you know, we do have an academy here too. We've got school here for you.
I met some nice folks here today, and it was really interesting to hear the programs and everything that's out there. The only issue is my boss back home, my wife, she wants to live in Colorado.
Yeah, trust me, I tried getting him in. You come get a truck and do a driving here, but just imagine the sticker would be on the side of your door on that one. It floor people in truck stops. So, obviously, with the Stevens fleet, we have a lot of prior military here in the building. A lot of prior military. Any message to them in parting?
Absolutely. I just have to say thank you. I am so fortunate to represent the biggest, the fastest, the strongest, the bravest, the greatest country in this world. And by representing this country, I represent those that represent this country. And it's the men and women in uniform that have written the blank check to America. And I just want to say thank you. It is my safety and my family that is sleep well at night because of the hard work that the men and women in uniform do. And thank you for your service.
Ride to Recovery, that's the charitable organization that Sal is basically putting a face and a voice to. Go check it out online. And his book, definitely check that out. As a matter of fact, I'll probably download that tonight. It's called Living with Honor. Definitely check it out there. Sal, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Have fun at the golf tournament, and I know there's probably going to be a banquet dinner after or whatever. You get to more handshaking, more gland adding. So thanks again.
Thank you.